Did you know people make an assessment of you in the first 7 seconds that they meet you? And 50% of that is how you're dressed. So, today on the Power to Pivot podcast, we are talking all about color, fashion, and feeling fabulous. My guest today is Patsy Sanders, and she's a transformation expert. Patsy's on a mission, focusing on helping women look and feel better by working together with them to create a plan for hair, makeup, and clothing. When you have a plan that helps you capture who you really are, you're free to show it off, as well as your gifts and talents. Patsy's bringing her knowledge and experience from 5 decades as a master hairstylist, owning 3 salons, and having obtained 10 training certificates with hair, makeup, and color. It's all this and more coming up today on the Power to Pivot podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Miles, founder of March 4th Media Company, and I believe in the power to pivot. Here on the show, we are diving into just that. It's all about overcoming obstacles, dancing with fear, and transforming our lives. So come along with me on the journey as we discover the amazing power that we all hold. Are you ready? It is time to pivot. Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Power to Pivot podcast. Guys, I am so excited. You're going to love today's guest, Patsy Sanders. Patsy is an international image style expert, a master hairstylist and speaker. Patsy, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you, Elizabeth, for having me on.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to talk to you. Embracing Your Essence. That is your company.
Yes.
Tell us what you're doing through Embracing Your Essence.
You know, I actually rebranded myself when I had a pivot in my life. I've had several pivots, but I'll just tell you what happened. I had moved to a new area. I was the heaviest I'd ever been. Starting over sucked, finding a new community, finding a new doctor, finding a new church. All of that was so hard because we lived in the same area for a long time. But my husband lost his job because the mill closed and our daughter and her husband were having the first baby, and I wanted to be by my grandson.
Yeah.
So we decided to move. So it's about an hour above San Francisco, which was the city to me where I came from. And so I'd owned 3 salons, and I had, been on international hair design team for a few years, and I didn't think it'd be a problem getting a job, but it was. Like, people look at you, even though I knew how to dress really nice. I always dress nice. I found it really hard to get a job. And I thought, I feel like this prejudice going on here. I mean, I don't care about that kind of stuff, but I felt like, well, let me tell you this. Today, people make an assessment about you in the first 3 to 5 seconds they see you, and 50% on what you're wearing. That's according to Harvard Business School. But back
Wow.
then, about 16, 17 years ago, you could sense that. But I thought, okay, maybe I'm just meant to be a fat grandma. I'll just do that. Then I met somebody who introduced me to a 12-step program from food. And I went from a size 20 to a 6'8", and I've been that way for 15 years. But I stay active in the program because I realized to have the lifestyle and the body I wanted, I had to do the work.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I had to learn how to dress this chick with a waist. She didn't have a waist. So I switched addictions. I went to Macy's and, got into doing that. But that was fun. But in this program, one of the women and her husband that became my clients, and so that was really cool. In this program, a lot of people get to know you, and they became my clients. She was the speaker trainer. And so she said, Patsy, would you come do the hair at my training event this weekend? I'm bringing my image stylist in to help them dress in their essence, dress in their element and reveal that. And so I said, okay, I'd be glad to. Well, I was color typed in the 80s as a winter because I had dark hair, dark eyes, and olive skin. So I wore black and jewel tones. I knew how to dress nice, no problem. So I show up in my black outfit with purple highlights in my hair. And so she explained there's 4 different elements: air, fire, water, and earth. Each one has a shape and, gifts and character traits and physical features, and we align that with the right fabrics. So I'll just ask you to do this or do that. And I said, okay. So she go, Patsy, give them layers. Patsy, give them a bang. Patsy, give them an A-line or whatever it was. I said, okay. So I did, and she loved it. And then my friend Susan said, hey, Patsy, Barbara's so excited how you helped her today. She'll color type you in the elements if you want. I said, I don't want to be color typed. I know how to look nice. She looked at me, she says, Patsy, you've become complaining a lot lately about, your business not going so well. Wonder if what you're wearing is keeping people from working with you.
Ooh.
Well, I knew I could be vulnerable and open to possibilities, or I could keep struggling. And I was struggling in a new town, the salon in every corner. It was not easy. And I said, okay, fine. I pretty much did it to make her happy. I just don't want to be one of those fires. Well, guess what? I was a fire. So these were the color palettes I had to go to. I'm thinking, are you serious?
That's very
These
different from what you're
are
describing
the
you were
ones I was
wearing.
wearing. Yeah. And I said, I don't want to be a fire. And then she explained, this whole thing about the differences. And she said, the part that really is empowering is understanding your core character trait in your color palette, because each one has, people call it personality, but it's more how you were born to be, how you show up in the world already. She said, fires are movers and shakers, and they get stuff done. And I knew that was me. She goes, Patsy, let's do this. Let's just go shopping at a consignment store, buy a few new tops. And if people don't treat you differently, you don't have to do this. Okay, I was willing to do that. And every time I'd wear one of those tops to work, my clients would go, wow, Patsy, you look pretty today. Wow, Patsy, you look nice today. I said, thank you. And then about a week later, the salon owner came up. She goes, what are you doing different lately? You look so great. I said, changed my tops. She said, well, whatever you're doing, it works. I thought, oh my gosh.
Wow.
I realized people would compliment my highlights in my hair or my outfit because I knew how to pick out nice outfits. Not me. I was really not being seen. I intimidated people. I was hiding in black, not a clue. I had no idea. So I thought, okay, I'll start wearing clothes like this. And this is what changed for me, was a big pivot for me, was this. I decided, okay, I'll start getting trained to be an image stylist. And if I add that to my hair salon, there's no salon, no hairdresser I know does both. And I thought, wow, I wonder if I trained hairdressers all around the world. And instead of standing behind the chair for hours, you can also add this service in. And that's what I was wanting to do. So I started getting trained by the owner. And then Susan said, Patsy, I'm training at this weekend. Would you come and help me? I said, sure. So I get out my style book and here's my color palette. And I thought, I found this beautiful Alfani top that had a V-neck, which was my shape. It was kind of a light peach color and a duster to go with it. And I'll show you what color it is. It's kind of this peach color.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought, okay, so I get out my style book. What does that mean when I wear that color? They said it's something about energy. So the flesh tones are closest to your natural skin tone, allowing others access to your heart and purity. But it conveys openness, deep connection, intimacy, trust, comfort, and safety. Well, that's the energy I wanted to bring to the room. I wanted people to feel comfortable and safe to come up and say, Patsy, where's the restroom? Here's your book. Please see it over there. I wanted that energy. So I thought, okay. Well, I was working with another image style that weekend, and she walks in that morning as I'm setting up the table, and she goes, Patsy, you look luscious today. I do? She said, yes.
Oh, what a great word that is.
I've never even heard of that word hardly. Then I wore the same outfit to a network event. I thought, let's try this out. And a lady came up to me that night and said, I look radiant. Neither time had I said a word. And I started to understand the magic of color, choosing the energy we wanted to bring to the room by what you were wearing. So when I got trained and got going through this, the owner got very ill. I managed her business for 2 years. And then almost 7 years ago, she sold me the business.
Wow.
So isn't God funny? I didn't even want to get color type. Now I'm in the business. So what happened was I became my friend's stylist when Barbie got ill. So I started working with her, and together, she would help them have a talk that sold from stage from their heart. They're like letting them be authentic and real. I dressed the outside, she worked on the inside, and people went out there and started making money right and left. One girl went from making zero to $16,000 when she got done with the course. She dressed amazing. It's like women need to know this. Entrepreneurs didn't know this, right? So I manifested a makeover studio. And I found this little studio where I could color type people, do their makeup, do their hair. And then my clients started giving me their nice, gently used clothes. And so then I had a section where I could sell to the right element lady. And then I added accessories. It was so fun for 2 years. Then COVID closed me down. New pivot. Changed my food. Now I'm changing, not working in a salon anymore. And I'm just, hey, God, what's going on here? Now, how can I do this work? How can I help other people? And one day I'm on the Hollywood Squares of networking. Remember when we started doing all that when we were there?
Oh, yes.
And
Oh
I
my
started
gosh.
noticing how people were dressing. Guys wearing old t-shirt, people hadn't gotten their hair done, especially older women. Nobody looked current or inviting or attractive. They just sort of whatever. Or they would wear a pattern shirt or blouse that was so loud I couldn't I didn't hear what they had to say because I was looking at their outfit. So I thought, wow, this would be, how can I help these people? And one day I got a download. What if I did this virtually? Now everybody's on Zoom. Now everybody has great lighting. I put together a style kit. I thought, and I had a coach. She goes, well, I've got a bunch of friends who want to have this done. And then I was in a program and there's two ladies who goes, I want to do it. I'll be your beta testing. One was in Oregon, one was in Texas. And my other friend lived about, I don't know, 8 hours away or something. So I sent them each a fabric and makeup tester little kit, and I could color type everybody on Zoom. I thought, isn't this fascinating? So then I could work with them on Zoom online to help them review their closet, switch it out, make a shopping list of what they're going to look for, and I can go looking for them online. And then where do they shop? I would find the right stores for their body type and their lifestyle, right? And it was amazing. It worked. Now
That
I have
is,
clients in Canada, Paris, Portugal, South America, besides all over the States. Like COVID was a gift to me
oh,
for my business
wow.
because it forced me to pivot another way, right?
Hmm.
Now I've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients. So it's like, wow. I think we're afraid to pivot. Fear is a choker.
Sure
And
is.
fear is, people call it false evidence appearing real. In my 12-step program, we say face everything and recover. Okay, this
Right.
isn't working. Next. Like, do you know what I mean? So I learned to get out of fear when I started doing that program, not be afraid what people thought of me. I didn't, I hope you like me. If you don't, it's really okay because this is the best it gets. And I love me. I am finally comfortable in my own skin. I am finally, relieved to be a fire because I'm a little bit sassy and a mover and shaker,
Oh,
right?
yeah. And that
So
comes through like instantly when we're talking, like before we started the show, like you can tell that. But
I'm very
that's,
passionate about helping women be confident first. Because when you dress the outside, you can choose to bring the inside to match that. But when you get up and you're a little off, and when you get off, you get up when you're a little off, you want to wear a tranquil color. So you bring that energy to the day, and then people feel tranquil around you. You're the speaker. You're going to get on stage or be on Zoom and you're going to share your big message. You want to wear a foundation color because they're your power colors, right? You bring the energy of expertise. So I started working this business, building it. I put together a training program. I made up, we didn't have these. I made these and I made these booklets. We had a piece of paper. So God made me use my creative side to bring tools to help people do that. And it's so fun watching women transform at their own pace, at their own budget, right? I told you before, I made up this saying, fashion's a look. It is not a size, an age, a name brand, a price tag. It's who you're being and what you're wearing. Approachable, confident, attractive as your most authentic, beautiful self. Once you know what your basic element is, Then we work on your own unique style because nobody looks the same. You can put, 10 fires together and we all dress differently, which is perfect, right? You get to be you.
Now, so what I love so many things about what you said, but the authentic piece, right? Like we don't have to go out and spend tens of thousands of dollars if that's not where we are right now.
Yep.
We make these little steps, the little pivots, and that the more you do it, it builds that momentum. And if that's your goal, cool, you'll get there. But where are you now? Just take that one next step now that will propel you to where you want to go. And I'm I love that you are making it approachable, because
Right.
there is a fear, and I can say from my experience that had has a little bit, yeah, still where I'm at, right? Like struggling with the way I feel like I want to dress and look, but having to be stuck in the mindset of I can't afford it, right? Like there's that, but it doesn't, you're saying it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't. So can I ask this question? Because I think your audience might resonate with this.
Yeah.
What percentage of your closet, of your clothes in your closet that you actually wear right now, what percentage would you say it is?
Maybe 50%.
Okay. And how, out of percentage of those, we know your comfy clothes. What about is your confident clothes?
Oh, like maybe less than 2%. I have very small percentage.
Okay. So the national average is 20%. So think about here's your favorite colors, right, that you wear and styles and fabrics or whatever it is. These are the clothes you're most comfortable in. What about that 80% you're not wearing? So some of them are special occasions and whatever. So let's say there's 60% you're not wearing. Think about how much time and money you have invested in that, which women do. We have sometimes have to spend a lot of time. That's not serving you. So there's this story I'd like to share. I was going to network meetings. Now people wanted to start working with me. My business doubled in a couple years because now I may not be their hairdresser, but I could be their image stylist. I could help them, right? So I started getting clients. And one day, Allie called me. She says, Patsy, she's like, I'm finally ready to work with you. I'm starting to travel and speak, and I don't even know how to pack anymore. I just have so many clothes. It's not fun anymore. And I said, okay, well, let's get started. So I find out she's a water, and I'll show you this color palette because I think it's happy. It's these soft, cool, beautiful, warm. She was very feminine, had these beautiful blue eyes. And so find out she's a water, and we're reviewing her closet. And I said, what would you like to do with the clothes that aren't serving you? She said, let's just lay them on the bed. I said, okay. So we laid them on the bed, a lot with new tags. And we organized her closet, we put things together, and we put together a few outfits that she had, but we made a list of the things that she could add to it and what she should be looking for maybe this season. So I looked at her and I said, Allie, how do you feel about all those clothes on your bed? She said, frustrated. She said, I go to the store, I buy nice things, and I don't wear them. I don't get it. And I said, okay, so now we've done this, we've got your list, and I'm going to help you. Like, we're going to do this together. I'm going to come alongside you and make this not hard and send you links and whatever. Okay. She goes, I said, how do you feel now? She said, relieved. So she went on to, she said it was so easy when she had her own personal color palette. She could understand why she wasn't wearing the other thing. She didn't get it quite before. But as I was speaking with a coach the other day, he said, Patsy, it didn't just cost her $3,000. It probably cost her $50,000 to $100,000 by not wearing the right things to connect with the right audience to be able to be. So when you wear the right colors, people can easily connect with you. Like it's a gift you give the world. I was hiding in black. Nobody could connect with me with my little fiery attitude, character trait. I intimidated people instead of having them think, oh, I want to get to know her. She's pretty sassy. I didn't present that energy. So that was mind blowing for me. And I just think, wow, what if women knew that? That, we're so programmed by the fashion industry. You only look thin if you wear black, right? Black goes with everything, blah, blah, blah. So
That's what I
everybody,
was told for the longest time.
oh, absolutely. And yes, it does make you look thinner. But here's the kicker. Any dark color in your color palette makes you look thinner. You know what? I have these scarves. Can I do a little show and tell with you?
Absolutely,
Okay.
please do.
I think I'm very visual, and I just think maybe you could see this, or your guests could see this, that this is what happens, and we don't know it because it's on a subconscious level, right? So here's what I used to wear, right? The black. Let's see. So when you see me up close, I kind of have a floating head. Here's black, and here's my head. Do you see that kind of? Okay. That was black. What about this color? Okay. This is this bright coral color. So do you see me or the color first?
The color.
Okay. The black is earth. The coral is air. Oh, this is a beautiful color of pink. Let's wear this one. All right. These are a little airy. And what about this one? Do I look tired, kind of drained here?
Washed out is what I would say.
Yeah. So this is water, soft, muted. That's a purple scarf that goes with this I'm wearing today. But what about this color? Do you see me here, then the color?
Yeah.
This is olive. This is fire. And I
Wow.
that's what happens when you understand how color can enhance who you're being that day. And each one of these strips in your color palette has a purpose, right? You're going to a networking thing, or you're online here and you want to connect with somebody that's got a big personality, you're going to want to wear a dynamic because you want to bring that same energy of fun and, achievement. And so we get to choose. And that's what changed for me in the last couple of years when I started working with this and helping people to add things to their palette, in each different section, right? So women that are speakers and doing work need to have 3 amazing solid colored dresses for stage out of their palette.
Okay.
So, or online. So when I work with people, when we get started, and most of us are on Zoom, we work on your tops. We just start buying tops. Then we start adding the pants, and then we make sure you have the shoes. And, it's a process we go through. And I love that I can work with people at their own pace. Now, I just put together an academy where I color type you personally online. And then we have 4 weeks of a group. Hey, this week we're learning this, and here's your homework. And then next week you make back and, okay, did you do homework? Great. Okay, this week we're going to dress your body type. And okay, everybody stand up. Like, it's fun to be doing a bunch of girls, and everybody's in the same, they're equal. It's not the intimidation, all that stuff. And I think that's why today pivoting, doing podcasts gives us an equal platform to be ourselves. And that's what I love about what you're doing. This is so brilliant. You're brilliant about understanding the power of collaborating and helping each other and sharing. That's what women want. That's the feminine way.
And that's
right?
what we're here to do. We all can get where we want to go, where we need to go when we do it together. It doesn't have to be competitive. I want to step back a second to what you were just talking about before I forget to mention this.
Okay.
I love the academy, right? That group program. I'm curious how many times, like how many aha moments have come out of that where maybe the overweight woman might look at somebody who's thinner or has a different body type, and they realize that they have the same insecurity or similar insecurities. And because it's really easy to go, well, look at you,
She's thin.
You're a size 8, or a size 2, or but they still struggle too.
They do.
How empowering is that for women? Like, I'm imagining the community that's built through that, right? Like, just that moment of realizing that we've had these perceived, we perceive that they're different, but they're really the same.
That's exactly what happens. There's a lot of people in the food program that have bulimia and anorexic, very thin. Didn't mean they were healthy, right? So we have our own nemesis that we deal with, whatever it might be. And a lot of it comes from the way we were treated as children, as girls. And so if you have a great relationship with your daddy, he adored you. And so you have a pretty good self-esteem. I mean, and you look for a guy that's like your daddy. If you don't, you're looking for somebody else. And in my life, my younger sister went through a trauma, and my dad, she became my dad's favorite, and rightly so. But I never connected with my dad until I was in my 50s. It was hard, you know, trying to measure up, and my parents were alcoholic, right? And I'd go to summer camp and church and everything, and I made up this vow one time, and I said, I am not going to be like my family. I am going to get married, go to beauty college, have a 4-bedroom house with a fireplace, my own salon, and have 6 kids. And by the time I was 23, I had everything but the 6 kids. 2 was perfect. I have a boy and a girl. So, and you know what I mean? But when I was young, I made a pivot in my heart. I didn't want to live like my parents. I wanted more than that, right? And I thought I'd always want to do hair. That's all I ever wanted to do, right? So I knew my journey, my path. I wanted a scholarship in high school to go to beauty college, right? And my husband, I met him. My grandma had a restaurant, and I worked all the way through high school and paid for my own clothes so I could fit in. Bought my own car, pink and white 57 Chevy. And I had to convince my dad that I needed the car so I could go to work on the weekends, because sometimes they were hungover and didn't want to take me, but I had a job. So he finally agreed to let me have it. So in that job, I met my husband, and we will be celebrating 55 years in April. So
Congratulations.
there's lots of things that happen in your life. You know, to tell you that I just turned 73, I still feel 50. Do you know what I mean? I don't look it or act it. And I think it's God's blessing for saying, yes, I'll pivot. Yes, God, I'll trust you here. Okay, I'll try that, and not be in fear all the time, but I'm moving forward. So I just want women to realize, don't be afraid of what you don't know yet. Give it a shot. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I know when you're comfortable in your own skin and you can walk into your wardrobe and you can pick out something you want to wear that day that you feel amazing in, because you know that's the energy you want to bring to the day, changes everything around you. Even if you're going to the grocery store, quit being frumpy. I even tell my people that have podcasts is wear a dress, because when you wear a dress, you bring a whole different energy of more business casual, more up leveled, and people feel it, right? So wearing your colors or wearing the right dress. So can I share a few tips for you girls?
Yes, actually, I was going to ask if you wouldn't mind maybe walking us through a little bit of the differences between the elements. And I would love to hear some tips. I'm sure all of our listeners would as well.
Okay, so I'll show you. These little hat bands are pretty good for showing this. So each one has character traits and energetic words. So this is air. This is the bright spring colors. And their energetic words are bubbly, light, crisp, quick, point, sparkling, sporadic, refreshing. Kind of that upbeat kind of a look, right? And then we have the fire, right? And our words are fast, rich, angled, dynamic, direct, staccato, texture, burnished. This really has a lot to do with the fabrics that you wear, the energy of the fabrics. Then there's the earth, right? And the energy of the earth is still, pure, serene, linear, striking, balanced, elegant, and reflective. And then water is like water, relaxed, flowing, soft, muted, blended, subdued, and romantic. So those are the energies. But this is what was so fascinating to me as I've worked and studied this. We have all 4 of the character traits in us. But what we're looking for when we color type you is your core element. So here it works. Air, that bright energy of this, is the visionary. So you think about, oh, I have so many ideas. I do this, I'm going to do that, and we'll do that over there. And you can bring on, and you can see the big picture, but you're not very good about getting it done, right? So everyone has a shadow side. So the visionary. So when you start your business, think, I could do this. I could help people here. I could create these. So we all use the visionary. Then there's the water. Oh my God, I have a business. I need to make contact. I got the website. I get a water because their character trait is process and order and detail. They're gifted at that. They love that. They're happy to be in the background if that's what they do. Like, so I have the best water VA you've ever seen. And she's an older woman. And so she's grown with me over these years. Then the fire. Okay, got the website stuff, got the talk. Now you got to go out there and talk. You got to go get online. You got to tell the world what you're doing. You have to share your heart. Then there's the earth. And so the fire is the mover and shaker. And then the earth comes in and they can come into a room and they assess everything and kind of take everything in and they edit what's going on. They see what might be missing. So the earth is the editor. They tend to be the woman that walks into the room. She's usually very thin, very tailored and beautiful, very regal and elegant. And she doesn't have to say a word. Everybody knows she's there. Now, everybody's character trait has physical features and they don't all align perfect. That's why it's hard sometimes to color type people. I have a 4'8" earth, but she dressed as an air and she was like this and she was young and she was 26. And she said to Susan in our training, people don't take me seriously. She's written a book, you know, I forget what it was, but anyway, but people weren't taking her serious. But she was dressing and acting like an air, outgoing kind of stuff when she was an earth. So we put her in an earth dress and told her to stand still on stage to share what she does. Then people started taking her serious. But this is the part that was fascinating to me. As we got acquainted and talked, and I heard her story for the first time, when she was junior high, her dad was a chemical engineer and they were from Japan or China, some oriental place. I can't remember at this moment. And she moved 5 times when she was between junior high and high school, 5 times. So she used her air character trait to fit in. Hi, everybody. I'm Yang, right? So she lived in her air character trait, but that wasn't who she was.
Ooh.
So when I typed her and I said, Ying, do you really want to be seen and heard? She said, yes. I said, then you have to grow up and stop bouncing around because people can't take you seriously. You have a big message for the world and you're young and you're smart. I said, if you step in, be who you are, they will take you seriously. Are you ready to grow up and own yourself? She said, yes. Traveling all over the world, making money, like things. It's just, we don't know who we are as women. We don't know how to connect all the dots. And it just makes me so excited to see women look at me and say, Patsy, I feel beautiful. I know how to dress and I know what I'm wearing on that stage today. I have a guy that I've spoken at a lot of events the last couple of years and he worked in the background, did all the mics and his name is, forgot his name. Anyway, we're walking in the airport together one day and he goes, Patsy, he said, I look around the room because I color typed him too. He said, I know every person you work with because they stand out. I said, you do? He said, yeah, it's really obvious. So he nicknamed me the transformational specialist. And so it's like, I said, would you do a video? So he sat there and did a 1-minute video. It's on my website. So that's my heart, is to say, you deserve to be beautiful. Embrace who you are today, whatever size you are. And let's just make you look beautiful and be more confident so you can go out and do the work you need to do in the world, because we're all called to something, right? You were called to this how many years ago?
Yeah.
You pivoted.
I don't even know. Oh, yes, absolutely.
You wrote
Oh,
3 books. I'm in the middle of writing 1 book and struggling. Like,
you
fires
got
can't.
this, Patsy. We got you. You got to finish it. You said you're on the last chapter.
I am. And I think now I'm getting it. I think I just went to the Podfest in Orlando. And then I spoke at a conference called Reimagine Your Business and met some amazing people. And all these people had books. So now this is my year to finish my book. And
Yes.
before I didn't think I had anything to say.
Oh, you have so much to say. Oh my gosh, you have an amazing story and you're helping so many people. And the inner work is so important, but that outer, we're all one, you know, we're one egg. I look like in my head, it's like a little egg, right? We're the whole egg, the shell, the inner parts. Um, but it all goes together. And how you feel, you should reflect that out. And it's it's interesting because from that spiritual perspective, right? Color has vibration.
Absolutely.
We attract the colors with the chakras, and so it makes complete sense that the same energy kind of transfers into the clothes that we're wearing.
Well, think about this. You don't buy anything without considering the color. A car, paint for the walls, furniture, bedspread. Think about it. Flowers that you pick out. To see the impact of color can change your life if you embrace it and align it with who you are. And I really do believe that God created us absolutely beautiful, beautiful
Oh,
beyond
yeah.
compare, absolutely flawless. That's what God says in the Song of Solomon. But we don't believe that because the world has taken it away from us. Now women are stepping up, move over, gentlemen, and there's a lot of men that love us and love us being in our power. I'm very supportive, but they've owned the stage. Only 2% of women are speakers.
Oh,
Get
we
out there.
need more than that.
We need to be out there sharing what we have with the world. And we are. We're making a big impact. You watch, there's going to be a huge shift coming up.
Yeah.
So have you ever heard of Speakers Playhouse, Kimberly and Ginny that have it every Thursday?
No.
It's a free thing from 10:30 to 12, speakersplayhouse.com. And they align speakers and podcasters together. Podcasters tell what they do, and speakers can contact them. You need to be on that. But that's where they said, you got to come. So I met Kimberly on one of the something I was Hollywood Squares or something. And she said, why don't you come and be on my summit? So I paid the money, which seemed like a lot of money, but they gave it back if you got 35 people to come. And I did. And I talked about this, and she's got blonde hair and black glasses, and she had a purple and magenta and white striped shirt on. But she had this amazing energy of ideas, and she was dynamic. And she goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to do a TEDx talk. I need to work with you. Well, she lives out of her car and travels the world because she's got things set up and she loves that. And she's a visionary, big visionary. And so I said, you have to land someplace for 2 days so I can mail you a color typing kit. I can't, So she was going to her mom's. I mailed it to her mom's. We color typed her. She had a lot of her clothes there, and she got it. Like, oh my gosh. I said, you need to wear red glasses or green glasses, or you need to wear cherry red. You're an air. You have that same energy. She started switching out her words. She goes, you have got to speak in our first Speakers Live retreat. I said, okay. So then I started speaking with them for them. So, you know what I'm saying? And we started impacting the world. Her partner, we lined her up. My story of Jenny she used to wear magenta hair. She was a water. She wasn't a fire like me. I thought she was like me. So it's an individual thing. I send you a kit because you are unique and beautiful, and I want to see who you are and let when I color type people in the right colors, their eyes light up, their skin clears out. Like it's looking at the window of their soul, right? And
That.
that's how I see past the whatever, because I truly see the possibility. Everybody can be beautiful. Doesn't matter who you are. I give you the tricks and tips. So one of the things you need to know is if you wear glasses, you should always put them at an angle like this. Do you see how you don't see any reflection on my glasses?
Oh, yeah.
That's one trick. Second thing is only wear solid colors online and be in a medium color. Don't wear black because if it's not in your color palette, you can't connect with people and you look like a floating head like I did. Or white. White with light reflection on it makes you look bigger. Nobody wants that. And bold, patterns because it distracts the eye so people aren't looking at you. They're looking at your shirt thinking, oh, I don't like that. They get distracted. We get distracted easy, right? And so but wearing solid colors, medium solid colors on Zoom, everybody can do that. So another color that's great that everybody wears really well is the teal.
I love that color so much.
Everybody looks good in teal. It's a universal color. And then there's also eggplant. This looks wine colored here, but it's really a deep purple wine color. It's deeper than that. Or you could wear wine color, right? Or this is dark hunter green. This is another
Ooh,
color.
love that
You know,
too.
Christmas time, they have that dark color. They might still. So you can go online, type in teal shirt at Macy's or some store, your size, and see all the stuff that comes up, right? So just start buying a few tops and test it out and see if you don't connect easier with people.
I would be so curious for those listening to reach out to both of us and let us know if you buy a
Yeah.
teal top. We're not plugging any brand here,
Oh,
but
no.
you know, whatever works, and tell us what difference that makes for you.
Yeah, see if you have fun with it. You know, it should be fun and you should feel confident. And another thing is women, lashes and lips. You need to have a little mascara on so your eyes sparkle, and lips, because people look at your hair, eyes, lips, outfit, 3 to 5 seconds. Hair, lips, on. So that's why it's important to have your hair done, right? And find a good hairdresser. And, you know, so all the tricks of the trade, and then I help you integrate some of that stuff. And we find you the right stores and the right places. I found this amazing. I was looking for chocolate brown pants. That's my black now. They weren't out for a long time. TJ Maxx found a beautiful top and a pair of and a copper. My picture that holds the fan is on the front of this. Is I found this at TJ Maxx. So you see, it doesn't matter where you shop. People don't say, "Oh, where did you buy that?" unless they want one. Because, you know, it's not about what you're wearing, it's who you're being and what you're wearing. It doesn't even matter the color if you feel confident and beautiful. So this purple, your purple you have on, is actually my purple is a fire tranquil. I want you to feel comfortable being with me, and I can just let my personality be crazy. But you see my heart when I wear a tranquil, because I really do care of helping people elevate their look, right? Dress for impact. People will be curious what you have done different lately, right?
I had to ask you this question though. This is like, because you gave us the elements and the character traits, right?
Yep.
How often, or I guess, how do you help somebody shake out when you tell them that they're a fire and their character traits, and they're like, no, I'm really, like, they're trying to game the system a little bit with what color palette they need. Like, can you, in
Well,
like
we
two
do a
tips or
conversation. Yeah, I invite people that do Let's Connect, and they fill out a little form. Do you like to shop? Where do you shop? You know, what do you do in the next 3 months? We talk about lots of stuff. I want to get acquainted with you to see where you're at. But really, the bottom line is, are you ready to make your own transformation? Because if you come to me resistant, you're not ready to work with me. And I find women, I I find this interesting that men, when they get what I do, they will invest in their business just like that. Women have to convince themselves or justify investing in themselves.
or they
Yet it's
need the
going to change their
permission.
life,
Yep.
you know? So I think that's part of it. Are you ready to elevate your business? Do you want to be seen and heard as a speaker? Do you want to stand out in a crowd? So something I'm doing that is new and I can send you a link if you're interested, but is a 3-part series podcast. I've been working on this, and we talk about what you wear reveals a lot about you. We talk about these different things, and I share some of these tips that I was going to not share these tips because I want to put them in the podcast, but I can't help it. I just think it's important that women go home and start. I mean, go out and try to find something. Go have some fun. But because I feel like when you understand the work I do, are you emotionally ready to be seen and heard? Do you want to elevate? Are you wearing to put on a little mascara? Make sure you got some lip color on so people can look at you and think, wow, I wonder what she has to say. That's a curiosity we want to create when you're online,
Yeah.
or out and about. So this last weekend, I heard this incredible rebel rock star coach. And she talks about the different archetypes of that. And she's from New York. She's got this flaming red hair with a big blonde streak right here and wearing her black and white leather jacket. And she's a kick-ass. And I loved her. And we were talking afterwards, and she said, Patsy, I want to give you a line. People don't like to be stared at unless they're stunning.
Ooh.
How's that? It's true. When you know you look good and you own that room and you walk in, you don't care if people stare at you. That's my goal.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love that. Thank you so much for sharing your energy, your story, your passion with us.
You're so
Where
welcome.
can people find you?
I would love to have a conversation. You know, you can go to embracingyouressence.com and there's a let's connect thing, and let's just talk and see where you're at and see how it might serve you there. I mean, you know, that's really good. But if you email me at patsy@embracingyouressence.com saying, I want to hear your podcast, and it's called Dressing for Impact, send me an email, patsy@embracingyouressence.com, and I'll send you the link.
That's amazing. Thank you so, so much for being here today. Guys, reach out to Patsy. We'll make sure that all the links are in the show notes so people can follow along with you on social. Go buy a teal sweater today, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Men or women.
Men or
Anybody.
women. Oh, and that's a good point. I don't think we talked about that. Like, because stereotypically women go shopping, like women are the ones, right?
So
Classically.
men go hunting for clothes. They go in, find it, bag it, and leave. We go shopping.
Different, right? Very, very different.
Well, we're picky. We want to try it on. We want it to fit and good.
Yeah. And
you don't want to buy something that's going to be in the 60% in your closet. Stop that.
So it's interesting. Oh my gosh, that's a whole other podcast. It's a whole other episode. Really, Patsy, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we get to share this with you. Right back at you. Oh, I love that. We are going to wrap up today like we do every episode. You are never stuck. You are never lost, and you are never, ever alone. At any given moment, you can use your power to pivot, make a new choice, and start again. I will talk with everyone on the next episode. Go buy a teal top. Patsy, connect. Make sure you connect with Patsy. Talk with y'all in the next episode.